Hi guys, it's fatpetrolhead here, and today I want to discuss with you all-wheel drive system and whether it is a good option to buy the car with it, spending more, but getting some benefits. Nowadays, in a lot of models, you have a choice between all-wheel drive system or a basic front-wheel drive. Or if we talk about premium German cars, for example, then the choice is between all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive. And for sure, no matter if it is a new or used car, you should pay more for all-wheel drive system. So, does it worth it? And let me start with disadvantages of all-wheel drive. I'm gonna start with disadvantages because they are more concrete in this topic and there is less to discuss, to be honest. And first of all, it is fuel consumption. It is obvious that an all-wheel drive car would consume more fuel, and usually it is something around 1 extra liter per 100 kilometers. Not that much, but depending on the market, on the country where you live, it can really cost you quite a big sum of money, depending on the price of fuel in your country. Because somewhere this 1 extra liter wouldn't be a big difference, also keeping in mind the whole price of the car, but somewhere it really makes the difference. But what matters everywhere, on any market, in any country, is the weight of the car. And for sure the all-wheel drive car would be heavier than the standard one. And it influenced not only your fuel efficiency, but also, for example, the efficiency of braking. Let's say in about 95% of cases, the same model of the car with front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive would have the same braking system. And because of being heavier, the efficiency of braking in all-wheel drive car would be less efficient. Especially it is important in winter seasons when you have a lot of slippery roads, and this is a situation when the weight really matters. I personally faced several situations when driving unfamiliar heavy car in winter season, you just don't expect it to be that inefficient in braking. And one more obvious disadvantage of an all-wheel drive car is just the cost of maintenance, because in this car you should change your differential fluid and also there are more things to be broken. But okay, talking about obvious disadvantages, it's mostly about price, except the efficiency of braking. But if we talk about kind of a benefits of all-wheel drive system, there are some subject to discuss whether they are really benefits. And we start with off-road abilities. It seems obvious that all-wheel drive car is better. And that's true, to be honest. Yes, of course, there is nothing to discuss here. However, you should just think whether you really need these off-road abilities. Because if we talk about the basic SUV, the difference between front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive would be just in better efficiency on slippery roads in accelerations, because they wouldn't have off-road abilities to go through the field anywhere, and usually you wouldn't use it that way. And as for just going through the rough roads, usually you have the same abilities with front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. So it's all about your acceleration on slippery road versus, like we discussed before, the braking on slippery roads, which is more efficient with front-wheel drive. So it is, of course, up to you to decide, but think about it one more time, whether you really need an all-wheel drive for an off-road abilities. But if we talk about premium cars, for example, German ones, then the all-wheel drive system would be very efficient if you have winter time in your country, because driving through winter on the rear-wheel drive is kind of a complicated task. And if you are not ready for it, if you are not sure, then for sure it is better to choose an all-wheel drive car. And now we move on to the handling, because this is the most complicated question and it is extremely hard to say whether it is better handling on an all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. First of all, what I should tell you is that for sure front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive would be more predictable for an experienced driver than an all-wheel drive car. The thing is that in modern cars the all-wheel drive system would decide itself whether to switch the most torque on the front wheels or rear wheels, and you cannot predict it. You cannot predict whether you are driving mostly on front-wheel drive car or rear-wheel drive car right now. Of course, if we talk about the standard usage of the car, not close to the limits of the car, of the platform, then for sure the all-wheel drive system with ESP system would have more abilities to save your life, to help you in some critical situations. And then in the standard usage, in the everyday life, it would be, let's say, more efficient in handling. Especially it is applicable to some premium cars, where you had before usually an option of buying a full-time all-wheel drive. It is not like that right now, because for example in Audi you have an Audi Quattro Ultra system, where it is a part-time all-wheel drive. But still, all these all-wheel drive systems in premium cars, especially BMW and Audi, Mercedes is a little bit different, because I see it mostly like a standard part-time all-wheel drive. But as Audi and BMW are engineered for being used in some critical conditions on high speeds, these all-wheel drive systems really works. And for Audi, I would say that all-wheel drive is a must, because there is no reason to buy Audi with front-wheel drive. It would be almost the standard Volkswagen. So let's sum up the idea of buying an all-wheel drive car and when you really need it. And first of all, it's all about some winter conditions. Usually when you have rough roads, when you have slippery roads, then the all-wheel drive system would really give you a big benefit. In case of some off-road abilities, I mean not the real off-road, but just going through the snow and such things. Also, but you should keep in mind the thing about braking that I told you about, and maybe you should test drive a car maybe in winter condition if you have it in your country. Also, it gives you more calm feeling when you drive on the slippery road as well in case of handling, because the ESP system combined with all-wheel drive gives you more opportunity to change the directions and all that. But if you don't have slippery roads, then probably you don't have any reason to buy an all-wheel drive. For example, living here in Emirates, I own a BMW with a rear-wheel drive and don't have any problems with this car, and never thought of buying a car with all-wheel drive. I mean the standard car. Of course, I have a Grand Cherokee as well, but that's a different story. So, when you don't have winter time, then I see no reason really to buy an all-wheel drive. Please share your thoughts in comments, your like would support channel a lot, and subscribe for more, and welcome to our community. Thank you and see you soon. Alright, now if you click one of these two videos, I hope you will enjoy them as well.